So, Ryan, thanks for sitting with me. And the reason why I think we should chat is because so many people have questions about what's happening in the real estate market because they're hearing many things from multiple sources. And I think it's important we just cut through all the gray and get down to the facts. So I want to come to the source. Ryan, what can you tell me about what the state of the real estate market is right now?
So, I'm going to bounce that back to you. What have prices done in the last few months? What have you seen out there?
So this is really interesting. We had a big peak in March. We had a median sale price of over 1.6. And now in September, our median sale price was about 1.252. That's a huge difference. And what that translates to is actually 22.5% of a decrease in the sale price. So houses are on sale right now, which I don't think a lot of people know at this point. That's a huge drop in sale price. And to be honest, I don't know how much further that can really go when you consider what happened in the 2008 housing crisis, when at the lowest point, we lost a total of 30%, which had so many of those outside factors that you're well aware of. So that's what we're seeing over here, and we're just keeping an eye on it.
Wow, so 22.5% down. So basically houses are on sale, like you had said right now, which kind of exactly correlates with interest rates moving up. So as more interest rates are moving up, it seems like the prices are coming down. And right now is probably a pivotal point to where I kind of think interest rates are kind of at their maximum, which then might also mean that prices are going to stabilize if we see interest rates possibly go down from here because of possible recession that we may be going into.
Right. So can you touch on that? Can you touch on the economic side of all of this?
Yeah, definitely. So right now, I was actually reading an article that was put out probably about a week ago, and it was by Bloomberg, so one of the big agencies out there, stating that recession is 100% probable. That's pretty serious for them to come out and say that yes, they basically say that we're going into recession. So that's kind of one thing that we need to note. Second thing that we need to note is what happens to interest rates when you're in a recession. They go down. So basically, when the government is trying to slow down the economy, they're raising interest rates. As soon as they see inflation start to go down, interest rates will go down by themselves. And then what we were talking about before is when interest rates go down, then prices either stabilize or go up a little bit because more people now can afford that home.
Right.
So that's what we're kind of seeing in our side of the market, meaning on interest rates and such.
So who is usually most affected by a recession?
So I did a little research on that also of what they expect in 2023 this recession is going to affect. And they came back quickly. They came out and basically said there was a company called the Kensington Academy, which is a university. And they said that most people to be affected by this recession is going to be the retail businesses, is going to be restaurants, and then also leisure and hospitality. So those are usually where the additional incomes can be spent that people have. They spend them on things like that. What it also showed is that tech is most likely going to be stable throughout this recession. They had noted in 2008 and in 2020, the COVID recession, that tech actually stayed stable throughout those times, which then gives them certainty that they think its tech sector is going to be fine in 2023.
Right. Interesting. Okay.
Which is great for our Santa Cruz market because basically everybody's coming from, the Silicon Valley coming over here to buy properties in here by the beach in Santa Cruz, California.
Right. Because we are still seeing a big buyer demand, as we always do, because of our location, proximity to Silicon Valley, as well as the ocean, the redwoods, and everything in between. So it sounds like we're going through a cycle, right? And as you said, in the recession, it's likely that interest rates are going to begin to come down, and then that's going to increase the competition in the market again, because borrowing money is a lot cheaper. So it sounds like right now might be a really good time to buy because you're dealing with less competition. And because, as we said, prices are on sale right now, they're 22.5% down. So it sounds like buyers may not want to miss the boat, right?
Yeah, exactly. And what I've been seeing lately is people are saying, price house sold at list price. Well, it's because the list prices have came down. So maybe it's
Right.
not necessarily they're going under the list price, but the list prices have came down here in Santa Cruz.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, we're seeing a change, and what I see it as on my side is more buyer opportunity and the ability to negotiate themselves a really great deal. And I would hate for them to miss this opportunity because, if it's anything like before, we're in a cycle where this isn't going to last forever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And the asking price is just the asking price. How do you feel about writing an offer under asking price right now? Would you do that?
It all depends on the particular property and the situation. The realtor's job is to really determine what type of competition they're, up against. And that really translates to what a buyer can do, right? It really just comes down to the competition, and it comes down to buyer affordability and what they're willing to do. So if a property is listed for a price that a buyer is not willing to pay, that's the end of the conversation. And right now, because there's less buyers in the market, it's just a fact. Back in March, we were dealing with 15 offers on like every single property. And now, if it's priced correctly, we'll deal with maybe 1 to 2 other offers, sometimes more, but it's usually not as cutthroat. So, in regards to negotiating themselves an underlisted offer, or possibly negotiating some type of credit or some type of deal in the works for the buyer, I think it's absolutely possible. And we're seeing it all day long. Prices are still generally selling for the asking price, but that doesn't mean that there's not negotiation power, because we see that all day.
Got it. So
Yeah.
maybe the properties that the days on market is really short may be priced well, but the
Yeah.
ones with the days on market at 30, 40, 60 days
100
may be priced
days.
out of the market. Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. And,
Got it.
a good indicator is that we had not seen that before. So we're seeing market pushback because of the extended days on market. And that's another indicator that we can see, right? We saw the peak price, 1615 in March, and now we're down to 1252. But we also saw that with days on market. Days on market was like 8 days back in March, and now we're up to 18. While that's still a short amount of time, it's an indicator. It's showing a trajectory, right? And so those are just things to keep in mind.
Got it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think I've got the ins and outs of the overall real estate market. What are some last thoughts that we can leave people with?
Probably don't get comatose by the interest rate. So just really look at payment and see if you can afford the payment, because the interest rate can always be adjusted later on, but don't be the deer in the headlights as soon as you hear what the interest rates are today. Stop doing what you're doing. I think right now is still a great time to be out shopping. Take the payment that you could afford now, and then you could always reduce it in the future. Exact opposite of rent. Rent usually always goes up in the future, but at least a mortgage payment can go down in the future.
Absolutely. Really good point. Okay. Well, thank you, Ryan. We'll talk again soon.
Great talking to you. Thank you.